Hi again, welcome back to another episode of my channel, which is called Marketing on the Run. Okay, this week I wanted to cover off a couple of new initiatives by Apple, the Apple, um, Google. Yeah, and the first one, as you know, I'm a big fan. You've seen a lot of notebook reviews because it's a really great product. And like Google is doing a great job of releasing these new AI initiatives, and I think it's great. It enables you to learn in so many new ways, so it's amazing. Anyway, um, I've done a couple of notebook ones, but today we're going to do notebook, and also we're going to do is another app that they've already relaunched. I don't know if it's launched in your country yet, but Opal is another thing I want to cover off, and also a website called a website builder, another website builder. Yeah, you must say another one, right? So I reviewed before Base 44, Lovable.dev. This Wegic, it's like magic, Wegic, is Wegic, Wegic, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to review this as well, just briefly. And you might say, why this one caught my eye because I thought it's from a marketing and growth perspective, and it's a quite interesting value proposition they have. Okay, let's go back to NotebookLM and just quickly talk about what they've done. They've actually now, as you can see here, I'll go back to Studio here. They've actually got a new video overview. This is freaking amazing as well. I mean, I really, you can take any content and create like a video presentation or like a pitch. And so I created a couple of them. And I'm going to go through some of this. So this one, so for example, say you're in a campaign and you run a webinar, and you can actually generate the webinar out, sort of the summary. So instead of here, you can take a webinar and you can upload the link or upload the file, and it'll create a summary of that webinar. And then I've got other examples where I've recapped a campaign. So in this one here, if I go back to NotebookLM, so here is a campaign, impact on AI as a webinar campaign performance. Here, so this one here, sorry. And this one here, which is, you can upload, for example, if you're training your BDRs or SDRs, and you have a great example of a call, take the call strip, say, I don't know, using Gong or Clary, transcript, take that with permission, of course, it's for training purposes if they've already got permission from the customer. Is take that call, even internal ones. If you're doing internal, if you capture Loom recordings, or you capture meetings, recording meetings, you can get anyone to learn from the takeouts. You can use this tool to actually the video tool to do that. So let's go a couple of them. Let's go with firstly the campaign. That's cracking AI code. So this is I just literally uploaded a campaign report. So basically a campaign of channels that we invested in, the cost, the conversion, just your campaign report that you generate. And if I go into it now, and it does a great job. So instead of somebody might not like to read that report, the campaign summary, let's go through quickly.
All right, welcome
in 7
to
minutes,
the
it captures
Explainer.
it.
Today, we're basically going to be detectives. We've got a real marketing report in front of us, and our job is to crack it wide
We
open.
go faster.
We'll piece together the clues to figure out what worked, what totally bombed, and, you guessed it, why. And that's the million-dollar question, right? Anybody can stare at a spreadsheet full of numbers, but the real magic, the real skill, is finding the story behind those numbers.
It's very
So
engaging.
how do you actually do
Very engaging, and it captures in the whole report. It captures the key insights of the report, which I find that it was.
How do you find the
Interesting.
narrative that's just waiting in your data? Well, let's figure it out. Okay, so let's get into the specifics. Every good investigation needs a case file, a mission. And for this campaign, the mission was pretty straightforward. Get people to sign up for a webinar. The topic was super relevant, all about AI's impact on marketing. But at the end of the day, it all came down to one thing.
Now, the actual campaign itself wasn't called that. It was actually another campaign, but I just reworded it just for privacy reasons. I don't want to. But the results are true. So if I go forward,
The whole email story is right here in these two little rows.
there we go.
Look at blast number
Zoom
one, the main event. It went out to 334 people, pretty decent open rate, almost 36%, and it got a 1.8% click rate. Not bad. That's where some of our signups came from. But then you see blast number two, it was this tiny little attempt to re-engage just 5 people. Sure, the open rate looks flashy at 60%, but look closer. 0 clicks. It did absolutely nothing for registrations. And this quote from the report pretty much says it all, doesn't it? It confirms exactly what we just saw. Blast number one was the workhorse, the main driver.
Great. I mean, this is like I won't go through the whole webinar summary, but what my point here is that
Of the puzzle. It shows us
it captures the core essence of the campaign. It summarizes it in 7 minutes, and you can
more
actually
people, more impressions.
I mean, look at this. It does it gives you which post, because I ran also a paid LinkedIn ad, and it tells you which ad. And in my report, of course, I do it, but in this one, it presents it in very simple terms, right? You know, post one, this is what it generated in terms of click through rate, so more like the engagement rate. And in the pink one, pink ad didn't show much at all. So you can see here the results of the engagement. So you know you're gonna, if in this analysis, you can know, so in future you're gonna back the black banner ad. So my point here is just capturing. You can use NotebookLM's video explainer for all sorts of stuff. And I'll give you an example of campaign recap videos for leadership. So maybe you've published a newsletter, or you've published a white paper. You want to create a video summary of that. That's another technique you can use. Maybe with video highlights of a webinar, like this webinar, which I found was a year old and I didn't go through, but it's nearly 50 minutes, right? I went back into NotebookLM, and you can see here, same video. It generated for 17 minutes, and it goes through and it highlights the key aspects of it. The key, it was so 17 minutes, 7 minutes. But it
Jump into the fun stuff, the tactics like pop-ups and emails. We got to talk about the foundation. Getting this piece right, well, it's everything. It's what separates the campaigns that really take off from the ones that just fizzle out. It's the chassis that are...
Go forward.
And that's how many new contacts came from one single pop-up.
So this is talking about a lead magnet, which is the first thing this speaker talks about as one of the tactics there, lead magnet. Why my point in here is just it covers off these tactics in really concise manner, so you get what it is instead of watching the whole 50 minutes video, and it captures the essence. What's interesting even more is that if I go into the video where because I did listen to both, right? They spent quite a few minutes on this, right? And it's important because this is a framework saying you need to spend 7 hours. Your prospect needs to have 7 hours engagement in 11 different 11 different assets in 4 different. Actually, no, it's the other way around. It's here 7 hours across 4 interactions. Yes, that's right, and 4 channels or locations. Let's call it channels. Right, so 7 hours in total FaceTime or interact of them learning in 11 interactions. So a webinar, a lead magnet, and so forth, right? And in 4 locations. So it could be on LinkedIn, it could be on your a retargeting ad that you might use in Google. Or your sales team are doing a mail out. Okay, so so across 7 locations, and it's interesting that all of this of the 50 minutes, right? It knew that this was an important framework. That's why I liked about it. So it highlighted like it's one of them. It's one of the things
A broadcast, and it is
highlights.
incredibly
Let me go
effective.
back here.
Drives home that this is a
This here, right? See, it does highlight that even though the whole video is 50 minutes and it covers a lot of content, it does pick what is most important. So my point here is that it's clever enough that it picks what is important for the viewer. And again, you can tailor this. So if you go back to customs instructions or conversations, so you can customize this and say, hey, I want you to focus on the conversation around this is a lymph speed, this is the conversation style. There's a you can actually tweak it, saying, I want you to focus on certain areas in this video, if you wanted to do that. But great, right? So another example of how you can use NotebookLM video overview. Fantastic. Another one I did is call for BDRs. If I've listened to a lot of calls from the sales team, and this is an example, I just made up a company here. Sorry, I use this company as an example, but the script is real, but I just changed the company name. And this. This is a transcript of a BDR talking to a prospect, and a great example. And so let's play this.
All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into
Let me go forward.
Into a confirmed meeting. So let's get right into it. So here's the million-dollar question, right? How do you flip that no into a yes when you've only got like 3 minutes?
And this is what happened in this particular transcript, which I uploaded. It knew to pick up on that. It picked up on of all the transcripts, only 5 minutes, but it knew where to focus on, and it breaks it down a little bit. See,
this is where
it talks about and it creates a framework. So this could be, I can actually send this to the sales team so that for them today to learn about how to structure their outbound. If you have a big SDR team or BDR, make the open entry
either earn the right to keep talking, or you get hit with a no thanks, bye. And there it is, the wall. You can just feel the skepticism. Sarah's guarded, probably a little annoyed. You can almost hear her thinking, great, another sales call. He leads with her. That's a super specific, really insightful compliment.
So again, it's picked up in the transcript, the key elements of the conversations worth extracting out as a video play. Again, I find this
interruption.
I find this really important, because when you learn from how you should take a lot of data and structure it as a framework. So in here, this example, break it down. So I didn't provide this; it's just a transcript, a full on a transcript. This is the transcript here, right? Again, Phil and Sarah have been changed, but you can see here the personalized a step. So this is a video of how you should, or your BDRs should engage in conversations as a cold call. Step one, personalize. Again, let me just zoom out here. Acknowledge the interruptions, right? So, and state the purpose clearly. It extracted that insight from the call. Covering pain points. See, it highlights again. It highlights in plain. It extracts the key elements of that conversation without going to a lot of detail, enough for you to go away and say, okay, now I know how to make my next call. No logic trail, it gets dicey, hard to justify. So that's the objection, and this is the plain English. It feels like a strategist sitting next to you. Play this.
With what his solution, Optio, offers: clarity, rationale, transparency. He's using her own frustration as the setup. And this right here is the moment the entire call flips. After hearing about a better...
I am spending way too much time building manual reports on Tuesdays.
Way, Sarah doesn't just nod along, she volunteers her specific pain point.
See, again, I love this because it's picked all the transcript, which are the moments of truth, and this is a McKinsey kind of paper thing of the moments of truth, which I won't go into that, but it's just those moments that make it a decision around stuff. So again, I'm not going to go through this. These are just examples of how you can use from sales enablement training tool. You can upload your case studies and pitches for onboarding new sales now to your sales team. So if you have a whole suite of use cases and value proposition and features, create a 5-10 minute video with PowerPoint presentation that explains it. So it's pretty impressive. And so worth for you guys to have a bit of a play. But in my examples that I covered off was sales training. So it's a BDR, campaign performance. If you're preparing a lot of campaigns, you want to make it more engaging for your stakeholders, and also the webinar. If you got a long webinar, you don't have time, but you want to extract the details of that webinar, you can do that. Or if you have a webinar, you recorded it and you want to present it in a different way, like an asset, and it becomes a lead magnet. Get people to register, watch the simple version of it, the whole webinar for you can download as well. Again, powerful tool from Google, that notebook. I find that amazing. I'm a big fan of NotebookLM, as you know. That's why I've covered a lot of content around it. But anything that helps marketers and startups to 10 times their efforts, great. The other thing I found, Opal. This is interesting. It's like a combination of workflows, and I created one as well, and I'll show you that as well. It's like workflows with AI simplified. It's like when I say workflows, I'm talking about things like it's Zapier, or Gumloop, or N8N. Those kind of workflow, but much simpler, so you can build one on the fly. So the one I was playing around, which I liked, was you remember I talk about getting intel clients and customers, your accounts. This one in particular, I just and this is the next segment I'm going to talk about, is this Wegic app developer. So let's go back here, refresh, and you can actually go into it and you can see the prompt for what it's been used. So you can create your own, and I'll show you mine as well. But if I go back to preview, and let me go into refresh this. Let me a second. Actually, what I do is refresh. Why is it not refreshing? Get out here. Okay, let me just refresh this. I don't know why it shouldn't refresh. It's just weird. Start. Okay. No. Okay. So in this one here, you just put in a URL. So let's just go into a a company. Well, let me go to the one I was going to do, right? So this is the next segment I want to cover off, this app in particular, and explain you why. Let's go into back to Opal. Okay, so you want to this one of your accounts, you want to engage, you want to find out a lot of information as possible about this account. This particular app that someone's built goes in and analyzes what's a company, researches. You can see here, if I zoom in, it goes online, it goes looks at Google Maps, it looks at different websites, and extracted here. It talks about in detail the company. And then this example here, when I did another one, let me go another one. What's another? Let me go into Loom, Lovable. Okay, let me just try Lovable. Can I get it here? Lovable here. Start. I'll put Lovable. Let's see what they say. Yeah, when I did it, for some reason this time it didn't do it as detailed, but it did a great summary, and it went through external sources as well, and that's why it covered off that. And I'll show you another example where I built one for not at a company level, but at a so here's much more detail. Motto, it covers the motto, covers the story, covers the value proposition, what it is. Really great way, and you can automate this. You can add in other automations to plug into a spreadsheet if you wanted to. So you can go that one way first. So again, something that you do a lot, that you want to. It's you want to get you want to 10 times your efforts. This is a great tool that you can build your own on the fly. So this is what I built, where you basically looking at. I was going to create other stuff around it. But I just stopped there by building it. So you upload, in this case here, you upload a PDF of a profile, or you can put in a URL. You can add in here input user. You can put in as a URL if you wanted to. But I didn't do that. But I just let me just move that, and then remove that. Okay. So I just put a PDF. It looks at the PDF and extracts the for an email. So it's looking for. I said the instructions here. These are the instructions that you want to prepare an email out, and it creates email. So if I go back to the thing and let's just start, and I'm going to upload. I've got a PDF, and I've just got the CEO of CMO of HubSpot. Just wanted to see what happens. I haven't done this, so it'll be interesting to see what what it will generate as a summary. And again, it's up to you. It's like any prompt, so it's combining, you're using workflows and really good prompt engineering to prompt the better prompt, much more you can extract whatever needs you want, and you can again remix it into different paths, or add in different tasks or work, or I wonder what you call these little things, but they're like sort of components that allow you to break the whole task into individual components and optimize, let AI do the work for you. So in this case, what happened here? Did it finish? Preview. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, cool. So this is the subject line. So this is looks like it went and understood. It was there was a keynote that this Kip was sponsoring, attended, and he's using that as the key subject line, because part of the scripting in the prompt is saying be personalized as much as possible recently. So you can talk about here his knowledge, given your passion, and what you can do. Does it have my see, I don't know, for some reason we didn't have this one. It gives you yeah, you can copy and paste this, right? Boom, if you wanted to. And the reasons, that's one part of I want to understand the reasons so I can see how it's thinking. The reasons for the opening, because it talks about, so I wanted it to prepare the draft, the subject header and the body, and also give me the reason or the strategy around it. You can see here it talks about direct strategic connections to purpose. It transitions from this into framing expertise in marketing. Great, really great. Next steps as well. It talks about no hard next steps, because I didn't say for that. Delight to approve of you. I said in the email, I don't want it to be a hard call out. I want to say, would you be interested in another follow-up email that I share some dedicated to brief, or no commitment or whatsoever. That's what I wanted. It picked it up very well. Great little tools. So I have again, this is available in the US, so you probably need to, I don't know, do a VPN to access this. You can still use your own account to do so, but those are the two tools I wanted to show you. Opal. Oh, sorry, I forgot about this. Last thing is the website that I said. Yeah. So Wegic. It's like magic. Wegic. Anyway. But what's the most important about this? It's another no-code website builder. What's special about this is this. And I found this is from a demand gen perspective and optimization. It can when you build your site, so in this case they've done an example. This is an e-commerce site. Once it's built, it starts optimizing by itself. So every day you come, is an example. Every day you come, you see a different type of layout from your website. It can, and actually, I think it's when I saw it, it actually changes the price as well. The pricing, as in pricing structure, same price, but it will discount it, like it will say, discounted by X%. But this is a great example of where AI and no-code builders are going to, is where you literally set and forget. So if you're e-commerce, it would start building, it starts not only building the website, it will start optimizing, it will start learning which product sells more, how much it's selling for, what time of day it's selling more, which reorganizing the actual layout to optimize those click-throughs and conversions. So there we go, top conversions into turn conversations into conversion. Yeah, I find that was really interesting as a selling point. I haven't seen that from many of the code builders, but this particular one, it's expensive, I guess, for per month. That's a lot of money there. But if you're turning, if your average deal size are quite significant, online conversion is important, this will be a no-brainer, at least for testing. I would definitely see if I can get a trial and test it and see how it does a difference or not. So they're the video today. I wanted to show you some really interesting stuff from NotebookLM and also Google, and also this particular startup that is building a great use case for how no-code websites can be built to really set and forget and optimize those landing pages. Okay, well, that's enough for me for today. Hopefully that was some benefit for you. Have a play with some of these tools today. It's really go out there and start experimenting. You never know what you can lead to in terms of your own learning. Okay, guys, bye.